This is GerotheHero, and this is my review of Drifters episode 10. Um, so in this episode, basically, we see that the Dark King or Black King is trying to recruit the Bronze Dragon, and at first the Bronze Dragon basically doesn't want to join, but the Black King basically uses his powers, and it's almost like basically cancerous, makes his body like cancerous, or because you see all these bubbles and stuff, and it's like they explain that like he can create life, but also like make it uncontrollably grow. So like it's making these growths on the dragon's body and hurting him. So eventually the bronze dragon joins reluctantly, and we're also explained that he also has powers to duplicate stuff, as well as like grain, but not necessarily grow it. So it's explained that he's trying to build up the civilization there, and that as well, any of his troops can be instantly healed even though they're close to death. When we return to the Drifters group, basically Nobunaga's trying to make muskets, and the dwarves are basically recovering, and he shows them that he wants this made. And at first the dwarves are like, well, why do we want to make this? And he's explaining that it's a projectile weapon, but they're like, well, why wouldn't you just use arrows? And he's trying to explain that basically the sound and the fear from a gun will scare troops, but as well, anybody can basically use a gun. He doesn't go too much into detail. He hides the fact that basically a peasant can basically become a warrior, because I think that would scare most people. And what we find out is the dwarves can make it very easily. They, in fact, finish it in like basically a day. They figure out how to make it. And at first, he tells them, well, at the most we can make 10. And he's thinking, what, 10 total in like a month or something? But they figure out that they can make it in about one day. They can make 10, which is a lot. So basically, Nobunaga is like internally, chuckling, and like it freaks everybody out, even the dwarves, and like Yoichi basically says, you know what, he just kind of gets like that all the time, don't worry about it. Eventually, we're interrupted by Saint Germain, the count that's kind of super flamboyant, almost looks like he came out of a set of JoJo. But he comes with his men, and his men basically go out to like test Toyisha and the dwarves that are with him, and they make it out like, oh, we're gonna like defeat you, and it's gonna be super easy, and right away Toyisha beats them up really easily. At the same time this is happening, the count is making conversation with Nobunaga and everybody else, and he's explaining that, I'm here to test you guys, and my men are already going out there to test you to see if we want to join the drifters. And then they bring them in, and they're all beaten up. And as well, it's explained that they've discovered how to make muskets. So internally, this count's basically going, yeah, we're going to get defeated. But he wants to make a deal to basically hand over the Empire by basically saying what their weaknesses is and how to exploit it. So it's like a very easy battle, and not like the kingdom's torn apart and everything in it. They want to basically keep the structure and everything that's being used. But as well, they are Nobunaga like chastise the count that because we find out that Hitler was basically in that realm, and that he took over, and even though it seems like it's a bad kingdom, he established an organization, and there was order and structure, and they made a democracy and all this stuff. But from their point of view, it looks like a really bad kingdom. But it's all point of view, basically. Basically, he's trying to hand over this kingdom, and I guess in the next episode we'll probably have a fight to basically take over Ort. But at the same time, it looks like the Ents are going to make some kind of battle as well. So we'll have to see. We get a little tiny exchange between Anastasia and Joan of Arc, because Joan of Arc basically was near death, but the Black King basically brought her back to life, and she's pissed off that she was left for dead and that her subordinate was killed. And Anastasia tries to calm her down and basically tells her, you will get revenge, but not at this moment. And then when she leaves, we find out that Anastasia's pissed off that Joan of Arc got defeated and almost killed. So we'll have to see what becomes of it. Are we going to see Anastasia trying to go after the drifters, or is it going to be more of a thought-out plan? Overall, this is kind of a weak episode. It's another lead-up episode, and we're still not getting that much action out of this. We'll have to see if we get any kind of action toward the end of this season. I'm kind of thinking that this was meant for multiple seasons. I just don't know if the pacing is right for this show. They probably could have took out a lot of these lead-up episodes or condensed them maybe a little bit better. We'll have to see if it gets a little bit better in the next one. But like always, comment below, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you next time.